And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fairway to Heaven right here on DSM Media. We're live. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Okay. Here's the drill, everybody. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet, follow us out. Whether you're watching the Fairway to Heaven page or the DSM Media page, if you want to interact, under the Fairway to Heaven Twitter live feed, I put 2 links under there. I put a link to our YouTube page. If you want to have your questions, comments, and thoughts heard and discussed by me on the air, put that link there. YouTube page is the easiest way to go over there and get involved. If you want to join me on the broadcast for a minute or two and get your thoughts live on the air and bring the heat, there's a second StreamYard link there on the Fairway to Heaven Twitter page. I'm giving you the option to come on here live or to put your comments over on the YouTube page. Easiest way to get, we're getting the audio issue again. Man, it seems like whenever I go solo, there is audio issue. Only when I go solo. Let me know if it clears up at all. I don't really know what to do to fix it. Son of a gun. Any better? Any better to anybody watching? Let me know. I'm going to keep playing with this while I continue. Make sure you like and follow. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching over on the YouTube page. I wish there was a way I could tell if it was any better. Let me pop on my audio here. It's not too bad on my phone. All right. We're just gonna have to roll with it as is. Yeah, we're just gonna have to roll with it as is. I'll stay as close to the mic as I can possibly do it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. It only seems to be an issue there, Carter, when I'm rolling solo. Not sure what the deal is there with that. Anyway, again, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Head over to the YouTube page if you want to watch and interact with the show. We are going to talk a lot tonight. We got lots on the agenda. Obviously, this is the 2022 Travelers Championship. We're gonna go into all the best plays, fades, bets, etc. this week. We're gonna take care of that. We're gonna talk U.S. Open, the results. Matthew Fitzpatrick historic win last week at Brookline. We're gonna talk LIV Golf a little bit today as well. Um, Brooks Koepka, Abraham Answer, more guys affecting over to the Upstart Tour. So we're going to touch into that as well. So we got a lot to talk about. Nick Faldo retiring from CBS broadcasting. Maybe he's going to call the Live Golf. I don't know. There's some people thinking about that out there. I got my wine ready, golf wine, ready to roll here today. So let's get started. First off, Matthew Fitzpatrick won the 2022 U.S. Open last week. We can talk all about the U.S. Open if you want to. I don't want to get too detailed into it. The one thing I want to talk about is on the 18th hole. Matthew Fitzpatrick seems to make the biggest mistake of the week, hitting that tee shot right into that bunker on the fairway on the 18th hole. And everyone's like, oh man, Scotty Scheffler, you've got a chance. Will Zalatoris, you've got a chance. Matthew Fitzpatrick comes out and hits one of the most clutch, iconic shots in major tournaments. I mean, everybody was talking about how he was going to lose it. You were like, you're blowing this major opportunity here. You can't win in the U.S., Matthew Fitzpatrick. What's he do? He hits a perfect shot, literally a perfect shot right onto the green, makes par, wins the U.S. Open, gets his first win in the U.S. Um, Fantastic. My picks, Jason's picks last week, spot on last week. I mean, if you look up and down the leaderboard, I've got the leaderboard open here on another page. Scotty Scheffler, all over him second place. Hideki Matsuyama, fourth place, all over him last week. Colin Morikawa, all over him in fifth place last week. Keegan Bradley, seventh place. Had a great showing there in his hometown of Boston. Up and down the top 25 guys I talked about. Now it turned into a big major profitable weekend. Now Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa win. We're talking about major wins last week for me, but still turned a nice little break even. I took a lot of chances last week with a lot of guys, and it turned out to work out pretty well. So I'm okay with my choices I made last week. They didn't work out in an event like the U.S. Open. You got to take the high risk, high reward type philosophy. We'll get back to a more conservative approach this week. I don't want to say conservative approach, more basic approach this week with the Travelers Championship. But the risk reward philosophy I took last week, I liked it. I'm content with it, and I'm okay with the results. Breaking even last week was an okay move in my opinion, considering I was Scotty Scheffler making a putt for birdie on 18 away from a playoff, maybe a big win. Colin Morikawa's awful round three. If he even gets two or three shots back on that round, big win. So the risk reward philosophy last week worked. I'm not sure what my philosophy is going to be this week. We're going to get into it right now because I kind of have ideas, but I let the philosophy come out and flow while we're talking it out live here on the show. All right. So next thing is the LIV Golf Tour. Brooks Koepka, worst kept secret in golf, is joining the LIV Golf Tour. No surprise there. Based off of his press conference last week before the U.S. Open, kind of had a understanding that he was going to be defecting. He really was. Abraham Answer as well. You know what I say to that? I don't care. I still do not care about these guys defecting because honestly, the guys I care about, the real players, are not defecting. The real players are sticking around. The real players, you know, like Rory McIlroy, blatantly speaking out against John Rahm. If you did not hear John Rahm's presser for the U.S. Open, go back and watch it. Him talking about, I want the real competition. I don't care about that over there. 54-hole event, everybody gets paid, no cuts, 3 days. Dude, they don't want that. The real golfers don't want that. The guys that are defecting are guys that realize they can't win anymore, or the guys that want the payday. I mean, you look at it. I've got the official World Golf Rankings here on my screen. Brooks Koepka is the highest rated guy, 19th in the world, heading over to the LIV Golf Tour. Abraham Answer, the second highest at 20. Louis Oosthuizen at 23 in the world. You're not getting the Scotty Schefflers, the Rory McIlroys, the John Rahm. We'll talk Colin Morikawa in a second. But so far, those big names, they haven't gone anywhere because they understand the competition level. Now, we can discuss Phil Mickelson saying way back when, back in February, that he would do it to help enact change. He would martyr his career to help make change on the PGA Tour. And it seems like there's already some discussion on change on the PGA Tour. They had a players meeting today with the PGA and some of the player reps and stuff like that, talking about creating some new events, some guaranteed prize pools, changing the calendar to like right now. For those that don't know, the calendar year starts in like October and ends in September with Players Championship. It's going a full January to December, giving a full proper off season to these golfers. Um, some new events that are invitation only, like if you get the top 50, and everybody gets paid in the off in the fall swing there. All these things that they're discussing, yeah, I guess Phil Mickelson to an extent was right in saying that, you know, somewhat supporting this other tour will help bring change, and it's gonna help make change. Uh, PGA, once they see some of these names defecting, they realize that it's gonna hurt them. If they lose a Justin Thomas, I know we could talk about Kyle Morikawa, we will in a second. Say they lose a Justin Thomas or a Rory McIlroy, guys that are, past the youth, like some of the young guys in the PGA. If they lose to Scotty Scheffler, that would obviously be huge. But he's a new world number one, a new guy on the scene. Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, they have worldwide appeal in name, and like Koepka has worldwide appeal, but he's not the peak of his game anymore. Rory McIlroy is number two ranked in the world. Justin Thomas or Justin Thomas is five in the world golf ranking right now. Losing those guys, that would be a significant blow, and they don't want to. So they're already seeing this literally after one event, and then seeing the pulse of the players at the U.S. Open. They already are talking change. So that's good. And if you want to say to an extent that Phil Mickelson is falling on his sword, I get it. I see people. There's a lot of people out there in the golf podcast community that I don't want to say is supporting the LIV Golf Tour, but supporting the reasons why the LIV Golf Tour is finding some minor success, attracting some players. And me, I'm not watching it. I'm not betting it. I'm not fantasy wise with it. I'm not doing anything with the LIV Golf Tour. I'm not buying into the sports washing. I stay away from that. I don't want to get involved. I can't stand that whole thing at all. But I get it. And change is good. Change in sports is good. Um, the PGA Tour has been doing it one way for 120 years or whatever. Okay, so change is good. Um, but I'm not sacrificing my morals to go play on the LIV Golf Tour. Colin Morikawa was the name because everybody assumed that Brooks kept was going. Then he wiped his social media accounts of PGA Tour stuff, and then it came out today he's joining the LIV Tour. Okay, Colin Morikawa did it too. There was some buzz and some worries about it, and he came out completely said, "No, I am not going." And obviously everybody had some fun with his pour his cereal in his milk comment today, and yeah, it was fun. And if you're not following Max Homa, make sure you follow Max Homa on social media. The guy's a hilarious follow. He really is. He's a great golfer as well, and he's coming into his own in his career right now. But Max Homa made some great jokes about it as well. I mean, he's a great guy, great follow on social media. Um, Colin Morikawa, that would be a big blow to the PGA Tour to lose someone like him. Uh, he's been on. I mean, he said it before the PGA or the U.S. Open, that last week. He's been pulling and pushing and drawing. I mean, his shots all over the place. I took a chance with him last week with the right chance. But if his game's as bad as he says it was, he still was in the top five of the U.S. Open, even with a pretty sure 77. I already closed out the scores for last week. 77 in round three. He was still in that top 10. So I took a great chance there with him. That worked out well for me. So, but Colin Morikawa, that would be a name that would hurt. Rory McIlroy would hurt. Any of those top five guys. If there's any other names in the top 10 or 15 that I could see maybe defecting, it's more the European guys or the non-American. A guy like Victor Hovland can't win over here really. Um, European guy, Cam Smith, Australian. He's talked about being away from his family. I believe he's married now. I'm not sure if they're expecting, but you got a young wife, you're a young guy, young wife, young family. I could see taking the money and more time at home. It doesn't justify it to me. It doesn't. I understand their thought process. I would never do it. But the competition level is never going to be there. And you're going to start to see a lot of players that are staying that are not going over to the LIV Tour, speaking up about the competition level where they'd rather sacrifice the guaranteed money, which would be great if the PGA they could afford to give guaranteed money to everybody every week. They definitely could do that. But the prestige and the honor of winning a PGA Tour event, making the cut, making the top 10, getting that world golf ranking number one, that FedEx Cup title, getting those things is more important to them than the guaranteed prize pool. Now, yes, not everybody's getting $200 million or $150 million up front. So those that are taking that upfront money, you know, they just don't care about winning anymore. They don't care about the art of competition. Golf is right there with tennis, the ultimate individual sport, and they're bypassing that for some money from the Crown Prince Fund, whatever you want to call it. The people worth 600, $700 billion. They're just taking the money. That's it. Now, like I said, losing some of those top tier guys, say Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, or Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy and John Rahm could never do it because I think they're they're people would question them as people based on how adamantly they stood up against it. Bryson said no, but then did it. But people don't like Bryson anyway. Yeah, it just I don't know. I'm almost tired of talking about the LIV, but every time a new name gets gets announced that they're defecting, we don't even know what's going to happen. It's 48 person field. They're going to get to 50 some people. Who's going to get eliminated? Who knows? I don't. But again, I still want to say that until the big names, the top five, six in the world, start defecting, it's not competition. But like Phil Mickelson said, he's going to basically martyr himself for change, and the change is coming. The change will happen over time. By next season, things will be different on the PGA Tour, and I'd rather keep my personal morals in check and wait for that change than go take a quick payday, compromise what I believe in. So that's why I'm staying away from the LIV Tour completely. Betting wise, everything off the board. It's completely off the board for me. I'm not talking it. I'm not betting it. I'm not getting involved with it whatsoever. So that's that. That is that. So this week we've got the Travelers Championship. Oh, I had my course right up on my screen here. I don't know what happened to it. All right, TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut. Trying to get my notes back on the screen. Not sure what happened to it. There we go. There's my article that I wrote. If you're not following, check out my bio. I link out my fantasy golf preview article every single week. I try to get it out on Monday afternoon, Monday midday. Try to put some initial thoughts, initial leans. I show my model, my top 20 guys in my model. Not the top 20 guys in play, top 20 guys in my model based on my level of importance this week on this course. So what is TPC Highland, River Highland? The first thing first about it is that finally we're back to a course that we've seen before. The last couple of weeks we've been playing these courses that are part of rotations or not regular stops on the PGA Tour. We don't have any course data, any history at these places. I mean, Matthew Fitzpatrick wins the U.S. Open last week in Brookline, the Country Club. He won the amateur there in 2013. Only the second guy to ever win an amateur and a U.S. Open at the same course. That's a historic feat right there. That's why I call it a historic win. Um, the last U.S. Open there was in 1988. So it's not a regular mainstay, not a regular stop. It should be. It should be part of the main rotation of the U.S. Open Tour. But this week, we know what we're getting at this course. This is not a random course that we're playing for the first time in 10 years. This place has been hosting this event. It's gone by different names, different sponsors for a while. But we know this. It's been hosting this event since 1952. So it's just under 6,900 yards. It's second, I think I read, second shortest course on tour this year. Par 70, very classic par 70, two par five, all the par fours and stuff like that. Very classic. It's Pete Dye redesign. We haven't had a Pete Dye design in a while on tour. And I kind of feel like I have a good understanding of what's unique at Pete Dye courses. Um, I lost my train of thought there. I was rambling on and on. Oh, the par fours is something that people are going to talk about a little bit, but not enough this week. 8 of the 12 par fours on this course are between 400 and 450 yards. I'm really zoning in on that. We need guys that are accurate off the tee, great approach players, guys that are smart. You got to be able to know when to club down on these holes and on this course, um, and when to take your chances. Last year, I don't know if you guys remember. Last year was when Harris English went in against Kramer Hickok, whatever his name is, um, 8-hole playoff on this course. It was the playoff that would never end, and Harris English won. Harris English won a lot on tour last year. Been injured a lot this year. Has he gone to the LIV Tour yet? I don't know. He's a guy that's going to go on the LIV Tour. If he hasn't already committed to it, yeah, he might be one of the next names over there. But I just remember watching this, and it was just the same. They just kept replaying 18 and 17, and 18 and 17, and you just kept watching Harris English and Hickok hit a 3-wood into the fairway, hit an iron onto the green, 2 putt for par. It was the most boring 8-hole playoff I've ever seen in golf. Um, so you need guys that are great on approach shots. You need guys that are going to hit the fairway. You need guys that are smart players. Guys that know, hey, it's a 420-yard par four, a narrow fairway, or wider than last week, but still fairly narrow. All right, we're going to hit a 3-iron or a 3-wood off the tee here. We're going to position ourselves. Even if you hit a 250-yard tee shot on one of these holes, you're still going to have a short iron in the green. So very smart players, guys that are very good at maneuvering around because it's not going to be a bogey fest. It's not going to be a low scoring event. Last year was minus 13 the winning score. We've seen this event get up to the minus 20 range. So, I'm guessing the weather Thursday, a little bit of rain in the forecast on Thursday. It's going to be pretty mild for June up in Connecticut. It's going to be low winds and stuff like that. So weather's not going to play a factor. So I can honestly see the score get up to that 17 or 18 under range, which is crazy for a par 7. So what am I looking at when I build my model? If you haven't read my article, I'm going to tell you what I put in my model right now. I'm not going to run my model. I'm just going to put it up on the screen once I'm done talking about it here. Actually, hell, I'll just put up the model right now. Share screen. Here we go. It is right here. Here is my model for the week. Okay. I got it sorted right now by price range. To be sorted by the order here. Amito Pereira, #1 in my model. So what did I do this week with my 100% in my model? Obviously, you see off the far right there, putting and scoring on par fives are there, but they have 0% weight. I'm just keeping that as a little background. There's only 2 par 5s on this course, but you are going to have to make birdie. They are both reachable in two for a lot of these guys. So you are going to have to be able to score on the par five, but there's only 2 of them, so I'm not weighing it. Putting, I very rarely if ever weigh putting. So #1 in my model this week is shot gain approach. 25% of my model. I got 20% off the tee, but I also have 10% fairways gain, which is basically a driving accuracy. So I got 25 on approach and 30% between fairways gain and off the tee. Because you want to be accurate, but you just want to be smart off the tee as well. So that's what I got there. I got 10% tee to green. Again, it can be very important to keep die course, be really good tee to green. Really good on birdies or better, I got 10%. Because again, if you're going to get 17 under as the winning score, you're going to have to make birdies. So I got that there. Par four score, and like I said, I put 10%. I don't think I've ever done 10% weight on a specific range on a par three, four, five. I got it on par four. You got 8 of your 18 holes to fall into one range like that. You got to weigh some of it. Ball striking, super, super important on peak eye courses, and of course my classic 5% shots gained total, which is #1 in this field, shots gained total. As always, over the last 24 rounds, Rory McIlroy, no surprise #1. Scotty Scheffler, no surprise two. Burns, look at all these names. Overall shots gained total in this field. This is an elite field this week. Seriously, a week after a major, considering everything that's going on with LIV Golf, this is an elite field. You got a who's who in this field right now. Scotty Scheffler, Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy. It's an elite field, 100%. So pretty impressed by the field and the turnout for this event. All right, so we're going to resort this by salary here so we can start talking about this event here. Let me real quickly refresh my ownership percentage projections here real quick. Brought to you by FantasyNational.com. Best model making site there head over there, if you sign up for them, send them a little DM on social media, let them know you heard about them here on this show. Maybe that'll let them know that I'm doing my job. So anyway, ownership percentage are going to be key always. Um, but last week where I took my chances, I feel like I'm zoning in on the right guys, in the high and the low ownership range, where I'm comfortable taking some guys that are a little higher owned this week versus last week where I took a lot of chances, 7 and 6% owned guys at the top of the board instead of the great six guys that were super chalky at the top of the board. So obviously, highest priced guy is Scotty Scheffler, world number one, seventh in my model, second in the field approach. Again, this is all over the last 24 rounds. I like 24 rounds. Some people go 36 rounds. It doesn't change this event too much. I did run the model both ways to see. Vito still came out number one in both. Um, Rory, I think, not Rory, who's number two? Brendan Steele still in the top five. So for the most part, the model remains mostly the same. But Scotty Scheffler's playing great. He had a great run to the U.S. Open last week. Cream of the crop, rose to the top last week. Same is going to happen this week. Birdies are better. Gain second, third in par five scoring. Second shot gain total, 5 tee to green. He's a little iffy off the tee, but he's so good at everything else. And this is not U.S. Open rough. This is not U.S. Open penal rough there. So he should be able to survive. Um, really love Scotty Scheffler right now. Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Sam Burns, all really great plays. And you can make a case to play them all and Patrick Campbell. But just like last week, where I went from the top of the range to the bottom of the 10K range, I think I'm doing that again this week. I'm looking at the ownership projections right now. And as of this moment, it's the lowest percent owned guy in this top tier range. Xander Schauffele at 11%, and Scotty Scheffler at 12. Justin's at 12, Rory's at 14, Burns is at almost 17, Patrick Cantley's at almost 18% projection right now. And these numbers are going to change a little bit by tomorrow afternoon, which I will keep updating it as I go. Um, but I'm going to go with the top and the bottom. Xander Schauffele, 6. I mean, I think he finished 14th or 13th last U.S. Open. Um, and he had one hole, couple really bad holes in the round. He still was able to finish in the top 15. I like Xander Schauffele a lot this week because he does so much well that fits into a peak guy redesign. Like great approach player, great tee to green, great at birdies are better, great ball strike, eighth in the field and ball strike. You can't beat that. His par five scoring isn't elite, and he's an okay putter only, but still like him a lot this week. So I'm going to take my chances with the lower owned guys at the top. So when we go down this board a little bit more, that I can take some higher owned guys. I don't know which guys. I'm actually surprised when we get to this 9K range. You can see the names that are starred on the board here. These stars here basically signify when I first see everything come out, I star them. Doesn't mean I'm playing them. It just means I'm like, all right, I got to keep an eye on these guys. And a couple of these names that I was keeping an eye on, like Finau and Keegan Bradley, Brooks Koepka is still in the field even though he's expecting next week in Portland. Play the live for. He's going to be the guy who gets moved the most this week. Um, like somebody Tony Finau or Keegan Bradley, I really thought they were going to be really highly owned this week, and they were in the 14-15% earlier when it was first looked at yesterday afternoon, and they've come down. They're both right around 12%. They might go back up a little bit as people see that. As they see that number go down, they get more comfortable. But I do like Tony Finau and Keegan Bradley a lot this week. Tony Finau third in my model, Keegan Bradley fifth in my model. For the same thing, great tee to green players, great ball strikers. Hell, Keegan Bradley all of a sudden has become a great putter, um, riding the high momentum of almost winning the U.S. Open. Tony Finau, um, he was my second bet I made this week at 40-1. So I love Tony Finau and Keegan Bradley, and if their ownership percentage stays low, it'll be all over. They'll probably be in my top 5 core plays. My core plays now are the 5 guys I use the most in my lineup. Finau and Keegan Bradley going to be right there in that top 5 most likely. Jordan Spieth, obviously, number one in this field last 24 tee to green. He literally does everything great. Except he doesn't hit fairways, he doesn't putt the ball late. And everybody keeps talking about how his putting is eventually going to have to come back. I don't know when his putting is going to come back at this point. I don't. So I like Jordan Spieth this week. It would surprise me if he won this week. But if he's over 50% 20% owned. Right now, he's in the 14.5 range. I don't know if I'm going to take the risk, but I get Tony Finau a couple $100 cheaper and a couple percentage points cheaper. Um, Tommy Fleetwood's a guy that I absolutely love. He hasn't played a lot on tour this year. Let me click on his name. Let me bring up what he has done on tour this year. He did miss the cut to U.S. Open. I know. Charles Schwab, 35th. 5th at the PGA, 59th, 10th, 14th, 16th, 22nd, 20th. Missed cut to Honda, 7th to Zozo, 8th like the last calendar year. Literally gains approach every single week. Gains tee to green every single week. Gains around the green all but 1 week. Gains putting all but 1 week. Tommy Fleetwood last year was my number one peak guy play. So this week, Tommy Fleetwood on a Pete Dye course is going to be the guy. I don't know if you guys like the smaller board. I'm going to go back to the big board. I kind of feel weird with it like that. So Tommy Fleetwood's the guy at 9,200. Close that out. Things slow down. Tommy Fleetwood right now is only predicted at 7%. Let me actually bring Tommy Fleetwood back up. I want to see if he played at the Travel. I don't think he played at the Travel. He played once, 2019, finished 13th. So he knows the sport. He knows his peak guy designs. Love Tommy Fleetwood. I don't have a bet on him yet. There's a good chance I add a Tommy Fleetwood bet, some kind of top 10 or top 20, something like that at some point. A lot of people are all over famous power this week. I am not. I'm not sure what the love of famous power is. I know he finished 12th at the US Open last week, but missed the cut to Memorial the week before, 9th at the PGA, 17th. He's got a couple missed cuts in there. Let's see what his traveler is. He's got a 19 to 66 and a 36 in this cut. So 4 times here, only once in the top 20, this cut at 66. Not amazing for his history. His last 5 events, lost strokes on approach. Last 10 events, lost strokes on approach. I'm not sure what the love of power is this week. I'm completely fading him this year. Completely gone, out, get away from me. He's also because of the love, he's creeping up to that 12%. And the amount of love the big podcasts are giving him, would not be surprised if he can creep closer to the 15, 17% range. All out of power this week. Just not worth it. He might win. It might kick me. I might kick myself in the ass next week. But no, pass. Go bye bye. Not playing power this week. Barner, an okay play. The 8K range, fantastic option. This 8K range right here. Everybody's going to go towards Mito Pereira this week. He's going to be the number one owned guy. He's number one in my model. I mean, he's only got one stat on my model that he's not in the top 9 in, and that's putting, which with the 66, still better than middle of that pack. Third in degree, third par four square in the range. I like third ball striker, second par. Everybody loves him, but I'm gonna fade him. I did. He was my number one bet when I first picked on DraftKings, and I saw 35 to 1. Boom, bet it. But I knew instantly when I did that he was going to be one of those chalky plays. Right now, he's at 17%. Dude, I guarantee Vito's well over 20% of it. Guarantee it. And that's the case, I'm out. I'm out on him. I'm not taking the chance on him. I don't even want to worry about that right now. I mean, I'm looking at Mr. Trent US Open. He's got a 13, 7, 3rd, 17th. He's at he hasn't lost strokes on approach since the Blair, and he still finished 13th place there. He only hasn't missed a cut since the Players Championship, which we know a lot of people missed a cut because of the draw. So his last real missed cut where he lost strokes majorly was Phoenix Open in February. Vito Pereira is going to win a event, and it very well may be this week. But I'm not taking Vito at 8,700 at 20% up. I'm just not. I'm sticking to Davis Riley at 14 or Aaron Wise at 12. Yeah, I said a few weeks ago, Aaron Wise, Kirk, they're guys that what's their win equity really? You know what? I kind of was wrong with that. I don't mind admit when I was wrong. Aaron Wise playing fantastic golf. Week in and week out, he's making cuts. Same thing with Davis Riley. I mean, these are guys. These are the future of the tour. These are guys that are going to win at some point this year. So I'm going to stick it out with Aaron Wise and Davis Riley this week over the other over Mito. Brian Harmon got great course history. People are going to be all over him. He's going to be. I think actually, I think he's fourth right now. He is Brian Harmon's fourth, fifth most highest owned guy protected wise right now. I don't need Brian Harmon in that 18 to 20% range. I just don't. I don't want it. So Brian Harman to me is a fade. Mark Leishman, I want to get some interesting thoughts in here. Look at Mark Leishman. He's under 10% owned right now projection. All right. 14th at the US Open. Missed the cut to Memorial, played awful tomorrow. 34th at PGA, 51st at Fire now, tougher event. So he's playing well at the tougher events. But also, course history. Huge this week, okay? He's been playing in this event since 2012. He won it in 2012, his first time here. Okay. 13th, 2013, 30th, 14th, 11th place, 15th, 39th, 16th, 9th place, 17th, 17th place, 18th miscut. Then he's won since 18th, 21st, 58th, and 3rd last year. I forget what event it was, a month and a half ago. It's a Webb Simpson course. You got to play Webb Simpson at the Webb Simpson course. Well, guess what? This year is Mark Leishman. I don't care that he's 103rd in my mind. I do not care. 8,400 Mark Leishman at right now he's at an even 9%. Round 9%, not even an odd number, but not 9 point whatever. 9%. He stays under 10%. It's a slam dunk play. Even if he gets up like 12%, I'm all over Mark Leishman when I build my lineup. No doubt about it. I don't know how you when I saw his ownership percentage based off his course history, I have no idea how he's not at 15, 16% right now. I just don't. And it might backfire. Maybe there's sometimes you get some skewed numbers. I don't know. But Mark Leishman is a lock play this week. When he gets my core, he's going to be right around the bottom of my core, top of my just outside the core. He might be my fifth, sixth, seventh most good guy this week. So play Mark, absolutely. Let's keep going down. Keith Mitchell, really strong play, really accurate guy, really great off the tee, great tee to green player. Um, Jason Day, Kokrak, I can't believe Kokrak will be one of those names probably on the what you call it, the live towards some point. Brendan Todd's name I want to talk about the EK rate. Finished, he modeled up pretty well. He's a really good approach player. Number one in the last 24 rounds was accurate guy off the field. Getting a lot of love, Brendan Todd. Let me do a little deeper look here into who Brendan Todd is here. Finished 13th at RBC, did not play the US 13th RBC, 3rd at Charles Schwab, 8th at Valero. Really strong player, really great approach player, really great, like I said, off the tee. You see his travel history here. 30th last year, he's got an 11th in this cut, a 15th in this cut. He's got strong course history, but he's right now 12%. And he's been trending up. He was at like 10 and 11 and 12. Brendan Todd, the amount of high talk that some of the other big time podcast guys bigger than me, more followers, more listeners than me, are pumping him up. He's got a really high ownership this week. No offense. I like him. I think he's a smart play if ownership wasn't a factor. And he's not even in the 8K. We're down to the 7K here with him. But at 7,900, Brendan Todd, if he's 12, 14%, I think you've got to get Brendan Todd if he's under 10%. Single entry events, oh my God, he's going to be 18% probably, 15, 18% Brendan Todd because of that 7,900 price tag. I'm just shaking my head. No, don't play. Don't do it. Brendan Steele, number two in my mind. Right now, let me see, they're updating at 14%. But so Fantasy National has this thing. They got the calculated ownership percentage. They also have a favorite percentage. The amount of people that starred the name. He's 44% starred right now. Now, the people that have used their model maker and their ownership projection thing, right now, over 10,000 star people have done it, and he's 44% starred right now. Which means that ownership percentage is, so you can kind of tell, like Brendan Todd, 35% starred, his ownership's not going to creep up quite as much. So Mark Leishman's only been started 28% of lineup. That way, that 9% is not going to go much up over 10. Brendan Todd, Brendan Steele's at 44% starred right now. So I don't know. I'm a little concerned about Brendan Steele. He's getting, like I said, a little low, low to hype, just like Brendan Todd. 10th Memorial, 9th PGA. I just don't know if I can get behind Brendan Steele. I just don't because of the ownership. Because there's other guys down here. KH Lee scores a ton of birdies. Great shots gained total guy. Does everything else okay. He's deeper diving. He's only 5% owned projections right now. KH Lee. He's gotten a little price bump a little bit. He made the cut to the US Open, didn't hit finish high, but top 40. Made the cut to Memorial, didn't have a great outing. Missed the cut to Charles Schwab, he won the Byron Nelson. Made the cut to PGA. Tate Lee last year was that guy that only won super weak field event. Tate Lee now is turning into a decent golfer. He's not gonna probably win this week. He's not a guy that's gonna win 4 or 5 times on tour, but at 5% owned, definitely, definitely worth a look at. Again, let's look back at base screen for 7,600. Definitely worth a look there. Johnny Vegas, he's a guy who probably goes to the tour at some point. I know a lot of people are like him. I'm awful. I forgot to mention when I brought up Brendan Todd about, well, I'm also Brendan Todd to play because of the ownership percentage. I got him at 100 to 1. I guarantee if you look right now, he's not 100 to 1 odds to win anymore on DraftKings. But I got him at 100 to 1. I love Brendan Todd. There's a lot of guys. It's weird. I look at my betting card. I got 6 outright bets this week. 2 of them aren't going to be in my player pool whatsoever because of ownership percentage. I'm trying to balance those things out there. Tom Hoagie, I bet him 150 to 1 former winner on tour. 39th in my model, 22nd approach player in the field. Bringing him up here real quick. In his last 5, 10, 20, 202 events, he hasn't lost an approach 14 degrees. The guy's doing well. He's missed his last 3 cuts. I know, US Open, Memorial. He missed the cut Memorial, still gained an approach. Charles Schwab missed the cut. He had a dreadful one there. Finished 9th at PGA, 17th at Byron Nelson, obviously won Pebble Beach back in February. Had some other 30th place finishes. I think this is the type of course that Tom Hoagie, yeah, right. He's never played it, but he's the kind of guy that can play well here. Let me see his ownership percentages again, where they've updated to. There you go, 7%. Maybe it's tweaking up a little higher than I'd like to see it. Cameron Trigali, the guy right now projected at 3.5% ownership. Um, where's his model here? Cameron Trigali. He's 57th in my model, but 17 birdies are best score. You're going to need guys to score on this course. Let me see Cameron Trigali real quick here. 14th at the US Open, 40th at the Memorial, 41st at PGA, 12th at RBC. He's had some really good events this year. He has played this event. He's missed the cut the last 2 times, but made the cut 4 the previous 5 times before that, even with a 15th place finish. I know things like that as well, but he has played it pretty well in the past. So he knows his way around this course. He's in decent form. Give me Cameron Valley this week at 3%. Absolutely. Continuing down this board here, you got Ryan, you got Lahiri, popular names that are coming up. Bliss, Charles Howe. I want to bring up Charles Howe. 34th in my model. This is price 7,200. 7,200. Charles Howe projected at 3% right now. Charles Howe, 18th at the Memorial, missed cut 33rd at Mexico, missed cut 4th at Valero, 32nd at Arnold Palmer, playing decent. He's another guy that I love, absolutely love. Like this accurate guy off the tee. The guy hits the fairways. He's a great approach player. 2 things you absolutely need. I know he's not going to be a popular pick, but he might not be in 5 lineups. I'm going to do 20 lineups on it. Back to my basic core play. No longer major league. I got my 6 outrights, 5 total units bet, my 20 lineups, and then my 3 showdowns on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's it. So Charles Howe will get 3 or 4 sprinkled in, like at a minimum. Lanto Griffin, a guy that's burned me recently, but still modeling out really great. First in the par 4 scoring between 400 and 450. First in. How can I not put him in my lineup if he's first in something that I think is super important? He missed a cut last US Open, but he had gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight without missing cuts before that. 6 out of 7 before that. Date back to January, he's been playing really good golf this year. And he's great on approach, great off the tee, great tee degree. The only thing he struggles with is around the green. But I don't think that's going to come into play this week. So Lanto Griffin's the guy. He's up to 7% now. I'm going to keep an eye on that. If it gets to 10%, maybe I'll be out on Lanto Griffin. But Lanto Griffin's the guy that I think can attack this course and play pretty well. Okay, is he off that already? Not yet. I'm dating JG Small 12th in my model. 7K. JG Small burned me. I was all in on him. PGA. I was all in on him on the RBC. He's just in really bad form. He's missed 3 of the last 4 times. Um, Before that, he had the Philippine Valero, which still fits into the last 24 rounds because it's so many cuts. At Travelers. He's played it 4 times. He's gone 27th, 30th, 27th. So he kinda knows his way around the track. I might get burned by bailing on him this week. I hate when I play a guy so many times that I bail on him, and then he finally puts it together. But I think there's better options. Alex Smalley, 21st at the RBC, 27th at Charles Schwab, really strong approach player, really strong off the tee to the green. I like Alex Smalley better than him. JJ Spawn, he's Spawn 3.9%, Smalley 4.9%. I'm gonna pay up to 4% ownership to take Smalley. Adam Long, almost 8% projection. Again, another guy I love this week coming in let's see his recent form here. 21st at RBC, 35th at Charles Schwab. So another really strong approach player. Really strong off the TNT to green. Back course history. Missed the cut last year, but a 24th and a 21st 2 years prior in this event. I'd rather play Long and Smalley and give up that ownership percentage than JJ Spawn. Playing two guys at 7K, it's not much different than playing 69, 6,800 price guys. I think it's a good trade off right there if you really feel confident on the guy. All right, two guys down here in the 6K range that I love. I don't love a lot of guys down this range. I like a lot of guys. I don't love a lot of guys. I'm going to pick two or three guys probably only. I'm going to go with two or three guys right at 7 to 7,200. I'm probably only going to need two or three guys in this range to balance out my usage. Scotty Scheffler and some of these guys at the top of the board. Um, they're still not getting price jumps, and they're still not getting ownership jumps either. That's bottom line. I guess 7% owned is high for two people at 6,800. But Adam Svensson and Austin Smotherman, both at 7%, both at 6,800. Let's look at Austin Smotherman first. He's predicted 7.1 versus Svensson 7.8%. All right. Great approach player, great off the tee, great tee to green. 44. He hasn't missed a cut since March 27th at Punta. He hasn't had great. He's only had two top 25 finishes, but he makes cuts. He's only missed one cut at Punta in March, dating back to the Honda back in February. So Smotherman's price hasn't come up to. I know he's not finished in top 10 or anything like that, but he is well worth the 7%. Especially if you want to play a lineup with Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele, and then come back with Adam Svensson and Austin Smotherman. Dude, that's a balanced stars and stroke lineup. Let me look at Svensson now. Let me bring him up here. Okay, he hasn't missed. He missed two cuts in May, but his last four events: 21st, 45th, 40th, 69, and 26th at RBC Heritage. I'll go back to Honda. He was ninth at Honda. Not an easy course to finish in. So highly ranked. Great off the tee, great tee to green, great approach player. Svensson and Smotherman, these are locks. You got to give them both 4 clicks, 5 clicks. You absolutely do. David Lipsky, he burned me a few times this year. He missed a cut the RBC. That was probably the week he burned me most recently. Before that, he had a 37, 48, 25th missed cut at Wells Fargo, 6th place at Mexico, 7th place at Ghana. Guys are strong enough off the tee, strong enough all around game. At 6,700, I'm going to take Flyer off 3% of. Kramer Hickok, last year's runner-up, lost to Harris English in the playoffs. I want to look at him. I start him. I'm predicted 1% line. The guy's 61st at RBC, 64th at Memorial. Missed cut Charles Schwab, 69th at PGA. And then he went on a run of this cut before making a 13th finish at the cut. He is not great whatsoever. But he finished runner-up, lost the playoff last year. And 2019 he made the cut as well. 60th, but still, so he knows his way around the course. Hell, we know he knows the 17th, 18th green really well because he played him like 600 times last year. Do you take a stat on Kramer Hickok? And I look at his most recent, his last 5 events he's played in, most specifically. 2 missed cuts, 3 top 70 finishes. Last event, RBC, June 12th, 1.4 strokes gained on approach, 1.6 that strokes gained off the tee, 1.8 strokes gained from the green. He lost all his strokes were lost around the green and putting, which this week won't be as difficult. So if you take a flyer on Kramer Hickok, I think it's an interesting thought. I think it's an interesting thing to do. And I might. I don't know. It depends on how many guys I use. Like I said, I'm playing Spencer and Smotherman in this ring. 110% they're on my card. Live team most likely on my card. Do I squeeze a fourth guy in Kramer Hickok? I also like Adam Schenkel in this ring. 4% home protection, 66 on. You take a flyer on Hickok at 1%. Where do you play Schenk, who, to be honest, 24th US Open, great showing from the US Open, 26th Memorial, so his event 2 weeks before that. This is cut to Schwab, the 41st PGA, 79th at Byron Nelson, not a very great finish, but he made the cut. 9th at Wells Fargo. He's got one missed cut in his last 6 events, okay, with including one, two, three top 25 finishes. Much better form, 3% higher owned, great approach player, great off the tee, great tee to green. It's going to be really tough. I don't know. Now the more I think and talk it out, I might be fading a lot more of those 8K guys and upper 7K guys. Can I have 5, 6K guys in my player pool? That's gonna be a tough. The more I talk it out, that's what I do. I do this show more for me than you. It helps me talk things out. Hey Lashley, Tyler Duncan, you can get down there, but I don't think you need to. Scott Scott Ucheski killed me last week. I forgot about Jim Herman. I wanted to bring up Jim Herman. I know, 6K whisper. I don't know if I can add anybody else to my pool. He's missed his last 3 cuts. Before that, he had a 56, 71st in this cut. Had a nice 7th place finish at the Puerto Rico. Why did I start him? It's got to be because he's got great coaches. Let's bring it up here. He has played this event 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Got 25th last year, 71st this cut, 68th this cut, 18th the first time he played here. Huh. Yeah, no. I'm talking to myself out of it. Not playing different. No. Stay away. Stay. All right. So that's what we're looking at this week. My bets this week, again, like I said, I got Mito 35 to 1, Tony Finau 40 to 1. I bet Riley and Wise both 50 to 1. Brendan Tom, Brendan Todd and Tom Hoagie, both half units 100, 150 to 1. Like I said, I'm going to be looking for Tommy Fleetwood bet of some kind, maybe a top 20 bet. Actually, here, we're betting right up. We're going to look and see what people say. Let's look at the odds right here, right now. Then I am going to build a lineup. I do want to see. I go 2 top guys and 2 bottom guys. What that leaves me with here. All right, golf. Travelers Championship odds here. Top 20 odds. Let's see what Tommy Fleetwood. Plus 170. Tommy Fleetwood. Plus 180 Mark Leach. I might be adding 2 top 20 bets there on my card there. I actually really like them both. I'm going to see what my budget is left for this week after I build my lineup and stuff. But I think they're both really smart plays there. Plus 170, plus 180, top 20. Occasionally top 22, plus 250. There are some really good top 20 bets here. I might have a really big top 20 card. Huh. We're going to have to see that. All right, let's get back to the draft board here. Always log out, log back in. That is okay. Sorry, bear with me here. All right, contest. I got one pre-assigned contest so far. So let me go in here and see if I can build a lineup here. I'm going to share the screen for you guys so you guys can see it. I hope you guys can see that. Check. Yep. Screen. All right, let's see here. Say I want to play. We're going to put 60 guys in first. We're going to go Spencer. We're going to go Smotherman. Right. Then we're going to go back to top. Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele. At least 7,600. That's really good. Because then I can go into 7K where I like all these guys at 7K. I can play play out small at 7K. Then get back up to the 8K range here. I don't actually like that one. We're gonna take him off there. Let's look back at this middle range here. I guess you can go Tom Hoagie. You can go. Oh, maybe you can't do this. Maybe this lineup build isn't as good as I thought it would be. I guess we can go with 360 guys. 360 guys. Say I throw Lipsky in for Adam Schick. Adam Schick. That's going to be 86. Mitchell frame, maybe a more I'm gonna have to think about this one. So maybe Spencer Smotherman, the two 10K guys, does not leave me a good enough balance because I really don't like doing live 360 guys. This is a full start stroke line. Start start like it because I don't want to call Shank Smotherman scrubs per se. I would think about maybe you do something where you play those two guys, Scotty Scheffler, and then you come down to say an Aaron Watt, say that, and then I've got plenty I can put the loose back down here to small league, and it leaves me 94. Now that's better. Now I can play Tommy. Now this is a start. I get my sense of I get Scotty Scheffler. We could find small league. Now this is a lineup. I'm just locking it in right there. I'm putting that lineup right in right there. Locked in. I like that one a lot. So still, playing those two guys is very effective option right there. So make sure everybody, thank you for tuning in here to Fairway Heaven tonight. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, hit like and subscribe. Live every Tuesday night. Jason Sullivan will be back next week with me. If you're watching on Twitter, follow us. Fairway to Heaven, me, at Fear to Knowledge, TSM, at TSM underscore me. Make sure you're following all those accounts. And retweet the show out. It helps us grow. Stay tuned in tomorrow on all those places and also on Facebook. On my personal Facebook page or the DSM page where I will put my entire player pool, all my bets I finally make tomorrow afternoon. Put it all out there. Let you see everything I do, how many times I click on every single name, and why. If you want to ask me questions, send me DM. I'll answer your questions, no problem. I get a few people now that send me questions. And when I see winning cards that they send me because of the information they learned on the show, it makes me feel good. So I appreciate that, everybody. I'll be back live tomorrow morning with Trending in the AM, my morning show. Talk a lot. I might talk a little bit more golf. I might distaste for the LIV Tour, and I like the fact that it is creating change, though. We'll get into that a little bit tomorrow morning, probably. But everybody have a great night. Enjoy your Tuesday. Cheers. See you next week here on Fairway to Heaven.